Alright, so this is gonna be game one of this 3-game series. So let's just take a look from the beginning who in this lobby are high ranked. So I got leeeroy. I know him. He plays a lot in high MMR games. So I'm gonna be looking out for him for sure. Some of the guys told me that fresnel was a really good player. So it doesn't seem like he's ranked right now, so he's probably just not playing as much on the ladder at the moment, but yeah, he's also the player who won the last Underlord tournaments that was in North America, so we're gonna be looking at him as well in this games. And then we got Mnight, who's also another Lord player. The other notable players, I guess, would be Swift Panther, who's a Big Boss 4, very close to Lord. And then we got a boss player, and then a few other guys who are a bit slightly lower ranked, but definitely not to be underestimated for sure. Um, yeah, so to begin with, it doesn't look like anybody's going open fort this game, which is kind of surprising. Especially on ladder, you typically see a lot of players going for open fort strategies in the beginning. Maybe they're trying to like force a strat. They want like assassins or mages or something like that. But it seems this game, everyone's sort of just putting units on the board and just trying to delay their HP loss and just play to the units that they received already from round one. So if we take a look at leeeroy's board, he's got like, see, it seems a lot like a scrappy opener here. He's got Weaver Clockwork. He really was hoping to find like a Nyx assassin so he could hit insects as well in the early game, because insects with scrappies early is like a really solid opener. Take a look at Fresnel's board. He's got a Snapfire 2-star and a Clockwork with a bounty on the bench. So Fresnel actually, on the other hand, may also be looking into going for scrappies. Now, if both of these players, the rank pretty much the top two players in this lobby, decide to go for the same strategy, that could pose a problem for both of them. But if one player does better than the other one, then you can, knock down your competition a little bit as well by doing so. But Scrappy's by no means is a comp where like you can only have one or two players in it. You could probably have three players in it without suffering too much, since a lot of times you're just playing for 2-star units and not 3-star units. So I think it's not really an issue. And plus, it's only round 3. It's too early to like guarantee one of these players like committing to a strategy like that. There's a very good chance that both these players, especially considering how good they are, will actually pivot away when they notice that there's other players in the comp that they're currently in. So Fresnel decided not to level up on this round. He is keeping a pretty deep bench. He's got 2 Sawdars, which is very expensive, 4 gold. He's hoping to hit one of them hopefully in the next round or two, or if he does lose. But even though he only has 3 units, it seems like his board presence is pretty strong, and he managed to kill off 2. So he's not going to take a whole lot of damage. leeeroy, on the other hand, also didn't level. He's also keeping a pretty deep bench, but his bench is a bit cheaper in the sense that he can just get rid of these Bloodseekers, Snapfire, Bat Rider, Shadow Shaman, whenever he sees like an angle that he like for strategy that he wants to go for. So he gets a Clockwork in the shop. He's probably gonna want to take that and play into Scrappies here, most likely. But he is still lacking that one insect to help him survive the early game much better. So let's take a look at other people's boards here too. It looks like Mr. Hoppin here is actually forcing assassins. Um, he's got a bounty hunter, he's got 2 queens and an ember. He does have an Ench Treant. Now, if he wasn't forcing assassins, I would obviously recommend that he would like play Ench and Treant on this board already. That's a very strong board. He might even be the strongest board in the game. Oh, Mnight also has an Ench Treant. Ench 2-star plus Treant because of the Druid buff. Tree becomes 2-star. He just such a powerful unit early game. But now that he picked up Legion Commander, he might choose to also opt to go for Legion Commander build. So he did sell the Assassins instead, just now. So he seems like he has made his decision to play into the Druids and Legion Commander at this point in the game. So another Enchantress. We don't know if he will buy it and try to make a 3-star Ench at some point. There could be potential for that. So he's continuing to lose streak on purpose so that he can keep hitting the units that he's looking for, which is pretty much more Legion Commanders. Maybe, I guess he's also trying to find Enchantress 3-star this game. So yeah. And he's gonna be getting very low in health rather soon because of his constant lose streaking at the moment. So who is an assassin? Swift Panther here. He seems to be in assassins, and EISA does have assassins showing, but there's a very good chance that EISA will not be going into assassins. But Swift Panther here is forcing assassins. I can see that he doesn't really have potential for anything else on his bench at the moment, and he's got a nice Midas or Desolator, whichever one he. Actually, all three of these items are really good for assassins. What should you can pay for his cast? A cheeseburger. An American cheeseburger. Delicious American cheeseburger. Swift Panther. Let's see here. He's just staying low level so that he can hit more of his low cost assassins before he start leveling up, because if he levels up it's going to be a lot harder for him to like complete his bounty hunters, his Nyx assassins, which is going to be his main priority while he's still on level 3, and he's also trying to eco first, so he has a lot more gold to roll with later in the game. So that's going to be really nice. Not even Canadian. No, if you want a burger, you want an American burger, okay? Alright, Canada doesn't have good burgers, okay? America does. It's the land of the burgers, after all. So Mr. Fresnel here has hit a Timbersaw 2-star, and he's got a Snapfire 2 from the beginning that we noticed, and it's got Sniper and Clock on the bench. This is pretty much a hard committal to Scrappies. Like, if you pivot away from Scrappies at this point in the game, it's essentially suicide, and you have an amazing start. So we're gonna see Scrappies in this game. There's a very good chance we'll get a splash of like either dragons because of the Snapfire, or maybe like hunters with Medusa. So that's gonna be interesting to see. I think Fresnel is already on his way to getting top 4 this game with this kind of opener. This is extremely solid, and as long as he executes the rest of the strategy from here on out, I can see him getting even top 2 from this point on. So let's look at the other top boards right now. Mnight here has Treant. He's the one who had the early game Enchantress 2-star with the Treant Protector. I said how like this is probably one of the strongest early game combo, and we can see that he's win streaking at the moment. He's on a 6 win streak. He's looking to complete it. He's got some Warlocks on the board with Venomancer and Shadow Fiend, and Brutes with the Ogre. Very, very efficient board at the moment. And it's also got Desolator on his Venom, so it's got a huge damage amp for his entire team. So if you can notice this game, how Mnight's position, he's like all the way in the back corner. He's protecting himself from the assassin, so he's putting his SF in like the most safe position. And then he's also all the way back boxed up. So this means like anyone who like, oh, he also got a nice Shadow Shaman 2-star in his shop, but I don't think we're gonna see him play this because he doesn't have trolls, and he already has Enchantress 2 with Benno. Oh, he does have a Witch Doctor. Okay, if he wants, he can use a Shadow Shaman 2 and Witch Doctor, but I think his current board state is already so powerful that he doesn't need this Shadow Shaman quite yet. So yeah, so being cornered like this means that anyone who comes to his board needs to funnel into this little corner to fight. So if we can see this fight right now, this Abaddon got focused down by 4 of his units, and the Venomancer Desolator debuffing these units is like helping all 4 or 5 of his units in the fight, depending on which angle they go towards. So it's a really good positioning to maximize his Desolator usage. And yeah, there's a, oh this, so this is actually a bot, huh? Level 7 on round 9. Interesting. I've never seen that, but the bot seems to be going for assassins. It's got a bounty too. Sanking. It's taking Jewel, so I wouldn't say the bot is properly coded, but who knows? We'll see how the bot does. It'll be interesting to see if anybody places below the bot. Right now, Hoppin is a bit behind because he's loose streaking till round 10 at the moment, and he's got a really strong board though. Like if he ever decides to actually level up here and put in his units, like he's really strong. Personally, I would have just started putting in units the moment I got like Legion Commander 2-star and leveled up, but he's decided to like go that extra mile and like try to find more Legion Commanders and more Enchantress before he does that. He does also have a contract, which is amazing to play in Legion Commander build. Now, all we have to see from Hoppin is if he's able to execute this strategy, because from the position that he's in right now, I feel like he can really start bleeding out quickly, especially if he doesn't level. Like the most important thing for him to do is just level up. Like he's got to get to level 6 right away, so he has multiple alliances on the board, and he's got to start utilizing his contract. He also needs to find a demon, so the Legion Commander has the demon alliance bonus too, which the Legion does not at the moment. So very interesting. Yeah, Juanita bot. I don't know if Juanita bot is gonna get top 4. I'm not sure about that. So Mnight, he did finish his win streak, so that's pretty insane. His economy is like, his net worth is way ahead than everyone else because he was able to finish that win streak.
We will fight and we will win.
So it's completed a Shadow Fiend 2-star. He's looking to go Shadow Fiend 3 this game. Let's see if he's able to continue to win rounds. It looks like he's fighting Hoppin, and Hoppin is going to take a lot of damage here because this is a lot of 2-stars on Mnight's board. And Hoppin really needs to start catching up on those levels and also find a demon for his Legion Commander already. If Hoppin ever does get to an Ench 3-star and has a Shadow Shaman 2 or a Treant 2 on a board, he can be very powerful because his Legion Commander will have a 50-50 chance to become 3-starred thanks to the Druid Alliance. So that could also help him come back into the game. But yeah, until he starts leveling, he's gonna be having a really rough time. And he's already at 40 health on round 12. This is really not where you want to be on round 12 at all. In a position where top 4 gets a lot of points and the others don't. So let's take a look at the second board. GripZ, he's actually playing Brawny. I'm a huge fan of this. I think Brawny is like a really like underrated alliance at the moment. When I say underrated, I don't mean that nobody's playing it, but that I think it can be played a lot more than it actually is. So people are aware Brawnies are a build and you can go for it, but I don't feel like it's being played as much as it could be. Right now he's a little bit, how do you say, under upgraded in a way. And I think his positioning is not super optimal. Like for example, well, I wouldn't say it's under upgraded, but his positioning is like definitely not optimal, right? Like right now he has this Enchantress 2-star on his board that doesn't really do anything. He should definitely like try to find another unit that can help. For example, Alchemist, who he just skipped, would have been really nice for this replacement of Enchantress because they would have gave minus armor, and all of Brawny's damage is pretty much physical. So if he had an Alchemist on this board, he would have a much higher chance of winning the rounds. Definitely. So it's really unfortunate that he decided to skip on that, and now he's really starting to bleed because he's trying to find this Juggernaut 2. He's also trying to find Bristleback and Treant Protector. The Treant Protector will give him 4 brutes. Personally, I don't think it would have been a good idea for him to roll there just to find that, since he already has Beast 2 and Axie. I think leveling up and trying to find Bristol and Treant that way is probably a lot better, especially putting in more units on the board. He doesn't have so many Brawny kills at the moment, but when he does reach the point where he has the level 2 Brawny Alliance activated, he has some potential to come back in the game. So let's take a look at the current rank 2 board. Leeroy. He has Scrappies as well. So Leeroy and Fresnel. So we were talking about from like round 2, round 3 that both of them might be angling towards Scrappies' game because of the early game units that they got, and they actually both decided to commit to Scrappies in this game. So it's gonna be very interesting, and they're actually fighting against each other right now. Fresnel has a Tinker 2-star, where Leeroy has Dragons, and I think the Tinker 2-star at this stage in the game is just a lot stronger. So we'll see how this fight goes. But Leeroy did get Golem and Essex, and Fresnel decided to go for Let's Go Crazy Hobgin. And it was a pretty close fight. They almost it was almost a draw. Both the Dragon Knight and the Snapfire had like a total of 300 HP on the board, but the Golem in the end was just too much for it was just too much for Fresnel's board to handle. Golem at this stage in the game is extremely powerful, really nice. The healing provided is really nice too. So Leeroy actually has a Desolator and a Midas, probably the best early game items that you can get. So for tier 2, I think he's in a very good position to like scale well into this game. And also with the combination with Demonic Golem and Essex, I think he's probably currently in favor to actually take this game. Although Mnight is really high up there and he's got a really powerful board, I feel like the potential for Leeroy's board is just just slightly greater in this situation. Especially considering the items that he has. And also Mnight took Let's Go Crazy Hobgin, where I currently feel like an Essex would have been more suitable for his board. One thing to mention is when you're playing units like Shadow Fiend or other demons, you kind of want to get an Essex just so that your Shadow Fiend gets that extra 50% or 100% pure damage after they activate a spell, because the NSX is has the Archer, which is the demon, and also the Golem or the Enthrall would be a demon as well. And if the Archer ever dies in a fight and an Essex summons a new Archer, that's actually considered a new demon. So that's gonna give an additional 50% pure damage, which would be really nice when you're playing with units like Shadow Fiend, Doombringer, Legion Commander. They really like that extra damage that they can get from having an Essex on your board. And one thing as well, because he's fighting into these scrappy boards, eventually the scrappy boards will have Deadeye because of Sniper and Gyro. And when you have the Archer with the NSX, the Archer always gets focused by Deadeye. So you can abuse that in the way that when the Archer dies and they keep summoning new Archers and then they get focused on by the Deadeye, your demon, when they can't activate a spell, can potentially have like 200, 300, even 400 sometimes percent additional pure damage in a fight and can pretty much carry you. Gyro 2 will destroy SF and Venom for sure. Like these two units are very, very weak against late game Gyrocopter for sure. And Leeroy has enough HP in this game that he can scale his way into the late game and hit the Gyrocopters for sure, right? So Mnight actually, Fresnel actually got a 3-star Snapfire this game. That's very impressive. I don't often see this. It does a lot of damage, but it looks like against Mnight's board, there's too much Warlock healing happening with the 4 Warlocks, and there's just not enough damage to take out his board right now. Fresnel needs to think about heading into the late game and trying to hit the Deadeye right now to deal with the Warlocks easier. When you're playing scrappies, the #1 thing to fight into Warlock boards is gonna be Deadeye, so definitely gonna want to aim for that. And because he's actually playing with dragons, there's a good chance that he won't be able to get Deadeye plus Hunters onto his board without dropping 6 scrappies. So we might not even see him go into 6 scrappies this game if that's his plan. So there's a Dragon Knight that's gonna be nice to play instead of the Viper. That's also a very powerful late game dragon unit you can pair up with the Snapfire. We can definitely see Fresnel committing to the Snapfire 3-star this game. So Honita bot is about to die. Hoppin, it looks like Hoppin won some rounds here and there. Actually completed a Batrider 3-star. That's very interesting. Still doesn't have a demon though. He still doesn't have a demon on this board. That's very interesting. He does have the double 2-star druid, so there's always a chance for your Legion Commander. There's a 1 in 3 chance for your Legion Commander to become a 3-star in the fights. But without having the demon bonus, I feel like this Legion is just not getting as many dual kills as he has potential for at the moment. Yeah, hopping over fences is yeah, we're just gonna keep calling him Hoppin, but yeah, he's making his comeback in this game. So he went from 10 rounds of lose streaking into hitting Batrider 3-star, and then a really powerful Legion Commander combo with the Druids. And now his aim is gonna go to level 7, and hopefully he gets a Shadow Fiend onto the board, and that would give him his demon buff for his Legion Commander, and then he's gonna be really, really strong. So Hoppin is fighting Mnight now, and Mnight, the top 1 board, he's got a Troll Warlord at this point. His Legion Commander seems to be focused down by the Shadow Fiend and the Troll, and that's gonna be majority of his damage out, and it looks like he is getting completely crushed at the moment. And he's gonna get chunked for 19 damage. So suddenly Hoppin, where he was in the middle of the pack, now he's dropped all the way to the bottom. Juanita bot has been eliminated from the game, so no one's gonna have a easy board to fight against anymore. Let's take a look at Swift Panther's situation right now. He's on level 8 with 5 assassins. He's actually missing either Slark or a Faceless Void, so he's gonna want to try to roll and hit that assassin. There it is. There's a Slark. So now he's got the 6 assassins. He's a bit more stable at in this situation, but this is where everybody is like hoping that the 6 assassin board will take out Mnight, or at least like bring him down a little bit, because assassins are the hard counters to warlocks. At the moment, I don't feel like Mnight is in the most optimal situation, because he's at Swift Panther is in the most optimal situation. He's at 20 health, and there's a few boards that have brutes on it. Unfortunately, he's actually fighting into the 4 brute board right now, which is like the worst case scenario for him, since he's like trying to stabilize at the moment with the 6 assassins, and it's just not playing out for him. So now he's at 7 health. He has no option but to roll down and try to hit his upgrades. EISA has been taken out, was also playing 6 scrappies this game, but because there was so many people contesting already, wasn't able to hit their upgrades and is dead now. So now we're down to the top 6. So people are starting to die already. Hopping over fences also lost the last round, so that's 7 health. So hopping over fences is also gonna look to either level or try to roll down. So they actually opted to level here, and still needs to get that demon in board, so he can have demon bonus right now for the Legion Commander. There it is, a Shadow Fiend is in. Swift rolled down. Oh my goodness, there's an Alchemist in the shop. Was unable to buy it in time and put it onto the board. I would have definitely taken out this Alchemist for a Dragon Knight 2-star. Sorry, there was a Dragon Knight 2-star in the shop. Definitely would have got that DK2 in there somehow if it was possible. So Swift is actually fighting Hopping Over Fences, and Hopping Over Fences, oh no. Hopping Over Fences is doing it right now, but the Enthrall Ogre, OMG, look at that damage. That is a big boy Ogre Magi, and hopping over fences, getting 6th place, taken out by the assassins. 7 damage exactly. Truly unfortunate. If maybe hopping over fences had one more turn to maybe get a Legion 3-star or something, there could have been a chance for a comeback. But Swift Panther, really glad that he did not lose that fight. That enthrall really did work there to steal that Ogre Magi and make the comeback on his board. Now Swift Panther is really looking for some kind of stability here. He should definitely get the Silver Edge onto the Dragon Knight. I think the Silver Edge on the Sark one is not very efficient at this moment, and you can just use your DK as a secondary source of damage outside of the assassins. That's also really nice here. So unfortunately, Swift Panther is fighting the Brute board once again, and this is probably the weakest. He's probably the weakest against this board, the 4 Brutes, since they've reduced the damage of your assassins. You just kind of like can't get that DPS you're looking for, and now he is dead in 5th place. Not too bad, but obviously in this kind of format you're looking to get 4th. And Fresnel is actually at 1 HP. If Fresnel actually died a little bit before Swift Panther, Swift might have actually gotten 4th, but now Fresnel surviving with 1 health is gonna secure top 4 for himself in this game. And GripZ, and we talked about the Brawnies making a comeback when they hit the 4 Brawny units, and the Brawnies, they seem to be stabilizing at the moment. Its board doesn't look very impressive, but it's doing a lot of work at the moment for sure. So Fresnel, let's take a look at Fresnel here. He's got only a DK1, but the Snapfire 3, Sniper 2. He's fighting into Leeroy's board now. Leeroy actually level 9 with 40 gold and win streaking. Very powerful board with the DK 2-star. And the Golem has been dropped. The Sniper is being focused down. Looks like a pretty close fight, but with the Sniper out, it's anybody's game at the moment. And there we have it. The Snapfire did plenty of damage on this board, and Leeroy win streak has been halted. Fresnel has a Sanking 2-star in his shop as well, and that's going to be really nice for him. Unfortunately for Fresnel, he can't really, have any room to find more upgrades at this moment. He's only got 3 gold left, and if he does want to play the Gyrocopter in this kind of build, he's going to need to either drop the 6 scrappies or he's going to need to level up here. So he is pretty much capped out at this point, especially with the Sanking upgrade that he hit. He's going to want to keep the Sanking on this board for sure. It's such a powerful unit as a 2-star. It's really nice. And now he's going to fight into GripZ's board. So here's a chance for one of these 2 guys to get top 3 by taking out the other person who's also low health. And let's take a look at what's going to happen here. The Treant Protector is the one who gets the 3-star. From the Druid Alliance, the Juggernaut has died already, so a lot of DPS has fallen, but it looks like the front line of Fresnel has already been taken out, and GripZ. Wow. The Brawny board destroying the Scrappies here. Like I said, this board doesn't look very impressive. It's just a whole bunch of melee units, but they have an insane amount of health, right? Every one of the Brawnies have an additional 2000 HP. Plus, he's got the Brutes to reduce physical damage. And GripZ does secure himself top 3. We saw he wasn't having a too hot of a start in the beginning, but he was able to hit his alliances that he was looking for, hit his upgrades, and now got himself top 3. So let's take a look at GripZ's board, since he is pretty close to being eliminated. Who is he going to fight into? He is fighting Leeroy's Ghost at the moment. And we'll see how this fight goes. The Doom went out onto a Tinker 1. Truly unfortunate for GripZ's board. The Bristleback is still alive though, doing a lot of consistent damage on this board. The 2-star Bristol is really, really powerful. And it looks like Leeroy is going to be taken out here. The Brawnies, and let's not forget that after every single fight, the Brawnies just grow stronger and stronger. They get more HP, right? So right now the Brawnies are up to 74 kills, and if one of the guys don't take out Grip soon, he's gonna be scaling non-stop, and he just got another Octarine, so that might be for his future Bristleback. A second Bristleback he might consider playing. So Leeroy, level 10, he's trying to find a Gyro 2-star, Alchemist 2-star, Stanking 2-star at this point. To be honest, if I was Leeroy, I would ditch either I would probably ditch like the insects to try and find like a Medusa. I think Medusa is like probably the best way to fight into Warlocks and Brawnies. So I'd probably find like a Hunter, put it in the bench, try to start finding Medusa 2-star this game. I think Dragons are not even or the Dragons, like you either ditch the Dragons or the Sanking at this point, I think, to try and fit a Medusa 2-star in when you fight into Warlocks and Brutes, because stuns are the most important thing. So in that sense, I guess Sanking would be more important than playing Dragons in this situation. But then, while you still don't have a Medusa 2-star, you can definitely just hold on to your Dragons and use that too. So this fight looks a little bit better for Leeroy against the GripZ board. The Golem buying a little bit of time, tanking that Bristleback in the other corner so the Bristle couldn't go into his team. But it does look like the Bristleback is still going to prevail one more time. And that's still more kills going the Brawny way. These Brawnies, man, they're getting big. Farming the Archer a couple of times too. How about Mnight? Mnight also beat Leeroy once again. So we can see Mnight's board, he's transitioned into, wow. Okay, 3 disruptors. That's a disrupted 2-star for Mnight. Those 3 disruptors in one pack for him, and he's transitioned into 6 Warlocks. This is a really strong board. Really strong. And as you can see, he's decided to split up now. So this way, all of Leeroy's like AoE damage, especially from the Sniper, Gyrocopter, Deadeye, won't be, you know, stacking up on his board. So actually, let's take a look at Mnight's board here. He's fighting into GripZ right now. GripZ is on a win streak with 10 health. See if the 6 Warlocks can actually carry him here. So the Doom went out onto the Venomancer. The Disruptor got a really powerful ulti there, and it looks like GripZ is gonna fall here. The 6 Warlocks is just way too much for the Brawny Brute strategy. Brawny Brutes do a lot of damage over time, and Warlocks tend to just keep out healing that. So he's got a Troll 2 and a Disruptor 2. Mnight hitting big power spikes already, and I'm actually a little worried for Leeroy. Leeroy does lose another round here, but it's not by a whole lot. It's just the Underlord and the LD3 left alive at this stage. 7 damage only. So Leeroy still has a few more turns to hit his upgrades. But I do think that Leeroy, for him to win, he needs to get Medusa in. Yeah, that's good. He actually found a Medusa even without the Hunter Alliance being active. He's got a Sniper 2 now. That's really helpful. In order to get this Medusa in, he would have to drop the Dragons, which probably is not the most optimal thing since he's got Snapfire 2, Dragonite 2 at the moment. But it would be good if he somehow manages to get Medusa 2. So look at Leeroy here. Yeah, the other option I guess is to drop the 6 Crappies, but it is a lot of armor and HP that you will be missing off the board. But at the same time, your Sniper is going to be doing a lot more DPS. So it looks like the 6 Warlocks are just way too much for the Scrappies to handle. Generally, Gyro and Sniper can beat Warlocks, but only if you have Gyro 2-star with Medusa for your Hunter bonus. But right now, the 6 Warlocks tend to out-heal this small DPS that the Scrappies is outputting. There's one Gyro in the shop. Okay, he actually sold the Medusa. That's unfortunate because it seems that he's not going to play into it anymore. And he's just trying to look for that Gyro 2-star out at this point. I would put the Desolator on the Gyro and not the gloves. I think that's a big mistake because you want both your Sniper and Gyro to have like maximum DPS output on the same target. And Desolator is going to be better because it provides a -5 armor for your Sniper as well, which can help you like take out the low HP units faster without them. For example, right there, the Witch Doctor healed up from like 50 health. Now, if you had a Desolator on that Witch Doctor, the sniper might have just killed him off before he could even cast a spell or get healed back up. This fight does look pretty solid for Leeroy. There wasn't much change, but at least he's not going to get chunked for 20 damage here. It's going to give him another turn to try and hit the Gyrocopter 2-star. So generally when I'm playing with Deadeye, I would like to put some on-hit effects that can help both of your Deadeye units like on them. So something like Desolator would be really nice to put on one of your Deadeye guys, so your other Deadeye unit will benefit from it for sure. He's really looking deep for that gyro and was unable to find it, unfortunately. Even so, the extra Dragon Knight that was on his bench. Mnight here isn't really looking for anything apart from a Wish Doctor 2-star or a Shadow Fiend 3. He's just holding his gold because he knows he can just win like this. He'll start spending his gold if he starts losing some rounds at this point. So he did adjust his board a little bit this fight. Let's see if he's able to maybe kill a few more units again, have one more turn to reroll and try to find his Gyro 2-star. It does look like he is going to fall here. These Warlocks are just too much for him to handle at this stage in the game. GG. And Mnight with a solid win. Early game, he was dominating. Mid game, he played really well, leveled at the right times in the game, and he hit his upgrades as well. Really good transition into 6 Warlocks. He saw that his final boards are gonna be the Scrappies and the Brawnies, so he opted to play 6 Warlocks instead of 4. So one of the things for Mnight as well is that he did not fight into a strong Assassin board this game. So because of that, he had the freedom to go into 6 Warlocks. Normally, you don't see a lot of people going for 6 Warlocks because of Assassins kind of countering you and keeping you down in the mid game. But because the Assassins were taken out much earlier, he was able to go into 6 Warlocks, hit the Disruptor 2, hit the Troll 2 for the consistent damage. Alchemist 2 was also a very key unit in this board. And he wasn't able to get his SF3, but, you know, he can't complain because he won. And one of the Lord players did end up winning on game 1. So really looking forward to game 2. Let's see how people will adjust their strategy. It's really unfortunate that probably the two favorites in this lobby ended up going for the same build, so they kind of blocked each other, especially in the mid game, to like hit your units a little bit easier. And well, yeah, we'll see how the players play out. I would really like to see either one of these guys like maybe try to execute an assassin board potentially, because I'm guessing Mnight, since he won this game, he's gonna probably play like the, you know, something similar to the board that he just played. And if one of the better, or like better, how do you say, if one of the players can execute the assassin board better than what happened this game, then I think Mnight would have a much more difficult time for sure. I think Swift Panther got really unfortunate with some of his rolls. Maybe he just needed to lose streak a little bit more, or try to like hit his Queen of Pain Embers earlier. I'm not really entirely sure what his problem was, but it felt like when he got to level 8, he already lost too much health. So whatever the issue was there, maybe he wants to adjust that if he's still going to play into Assassins next game. But if someone wants to stop this board, either you need to have a better early game, mid game, or you need to have a really good Assassin board for sure.